Well, hello. I'm Kevin Ringstaff from Pet Cloud. This guy here is Ponce de León. And we're joined here today with by David Shade, the owner and CEO of PupCamp, pupcamp.com. David, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. And I think everyone else is going to be excited too when you explain a little bit more about what it is that you do at PupCamp.
Yeah, so PupCamp is an online digital library where anyone, anywhere in the world, from the comfort of their own home, on their own schedule, can train their own dog, but also find dog education resources that are going to be really helpful in the daily livings and going ons when they have a dog, such as um, tips from veterinarians or first aid, or even how to be a better photographer with your pet. It's kind of like the Netflix for dogs in a sense.
Mhm.
And so we have a subscription service, and with a simple subscription, people very simply people can have access to our entire video and content library.
So that's fascinating. So like dog training on demand.
Yeah, really is. Yeah, I mean that's a good way to put it. We have a huge amount of content. We have hundreds of videos, and people can get on there and they can kind of either whether they have a puppy and they want to do puppy development, or they want to teach obedience training to an older dog, or like I said, they want to do education for just other dog areas about dog ownership. There's something for everybody, and it's on demand, so they can watch it at their own time.
Great. You know, I think what you're doing is really important too. And we have a lot of members now, because, well, who have lost pets and who
Mhm.
are most pet owners go on to get another pet at some point in their lives. The problem with that is, it's been a decade or more and we've forgotten completely how to train a puppy.
Exactly. I've been a professional dog trainer in the field for years, and I saw that all the time. When somebody, they had a dog for 12, 13, 14 years, their dog passed away, and then a year later they get a puppy and they're like, "Holy crap, like I haven't raised a puppy since I was in college." And then they have a house and they have kids running around, and it's just a completely different ball game. And people really struggle with it, and so they found a lot of assistance when they hired our training services in person. And now I've made those available to everyone through this online digital library at PupCamp, so that way they don't feel alone when they're trying to raise a puppy, because I'll tell you, if you haven't done it in like a while, it's a different game.
Mhm.
And the market's different, and like the products that are available are completely different, and there's a lot of additional tools and resources out there these days that make it easier than if you raised a puppy 15 years ago.
Mhm.
So it's a very common phenomenon.
Well, another reason I wanted to interview you here today is you have an interesting story about why you got started.
Yeah, so I actually just a year ago went through almost a year exactly, went through my own pet loss experience for the first time with Lulu. And it was tragic, and it was the worst day of my life. But um, when I was 18, I enlisted in the United States Army, and I deployed overseas to Afghanistan. I did 4 years in the Army, and then when I came back home, I started to struggle with post-traumatic stress. And right around this time, I had gotten my first dog. It was Lulu, a little boxer puppy,
Mhm.
and she fundamentally changed my life. For me, she brought kind of like a healing to the mental damage and scars that I had with post-traumatic stress. And she taught me how to live again, how to love again.
Mhm.
And it just changed my life fundamentally. And I knew at that moment that I wanted to work with animals. I wanted to work with dogs, and I wanted to try and help people connect with their animals like I had a connection with Lulu,
Mhm.
and how it just completely changed my life. And so that's what we look to do. And Pup Camp is our training that is digital, and it's national and global. So
Mhm.
that way, I think that everybody should have access to good information, good resources, good training, good education. And my goal is that if they go through our program, when they're done with their experience, that they have the type of connection that I had with Lulu, which changed my life.
Yeah, absolutely. You mean the relationship we have with our pets really changes us, like fundamentally changes us. I mean, my dog Sir William Broderick, as many of you who are listening know, like he changed my life. He taught me how to be more empathetic and how to be more compassionate towards other people too.
Yeah, no, for sure. When I had Lulu and I was going through post-traumatic stress, I was dealing with anger problems. And so, and she helped me because like if I would start yelling or if I got angry, she would actually run away and go hide on the bed upstairs. And it taught me to like bring it down because I didn't want to scare my puppy. You know what I mean? If I was angry at like a telemarketer on the phone, I didn't want to like scare her. So it taught me to reel it in a bit, which was good. And there was a lot of other benefits that came with it, with having her and dealing with post-traumatic stress. But absolutely. Oh, and by the way, your pets have the greatest names.
Oh, thank you so much. Naming is important to me.
Yeah,
Full
they're
lineage.
great. They're great.
So, after we put all this time and effort into our pets and they do perish and we do get another one, a lot of people, and we talk about this a lot, is we try to have the old pet fill the new pet's shoes. Do you get a
Yeah.
lot of that with what you do?
Yeah. So a lot of times what happens is and look, it's human nature. If you lived with a dog for 15 years or even less, uh, you develop kind of a ritual like in your bonding. And a lot of times what happens is when that dog passes and another dog comes into the fold, um, people sometimes have similar expectations. And the problem is you're setting the expectation that this little puppy is supposed to know the things that this dog with 10 plus years of experience of living with you and learning your routines had. They just don't get it. They just don't know because they're puppies and they're new and they have to be taught those things.
Mhm.
And eventually they'll adopt kind of some of the similar patterns based upon the individual's lifestyle. But that's a problem that happens. People have expectations, like for example, like
Mhm.
the puppy knowing how to like sit or do some, or like coming when called or something like that. They might expect that the puppy should know it because their older dog did it for 10 or 15 years. And even as a trainer, when I lost Lulu and I got a new puppy, I had to like catch myself because I know this stuff and I had to catch myself like the puppy doesn't know this yet. Like the puppy doesn't understand it yet. Like for example, at our house, we have a fenced in yard. And so we open the back door and the dogs go out and they go out and do their business. Well, in the beginning, like our two other dogs, they go out and then they come in. The puppy like didn't understand this process. So he would like go out, but then not come back in right away. So we had to like go get him and have like the other dogs like go out and like bring him back in.
Mhm.
Now, after a few months, like he got it. He understands now, like when we open that door, you go out, you do your business and come back in. And he gets it now and it's great. But like in the beginning, he didn't. And so that can be frustrating because the expectation would have been, well, my other dog did this. Why can't my new dog do this?
Yeah.
And when you do that, it sets an unfair kind of bar for the puppy to meet. They're just not going to meet, but they can eventually with time and training and learning your routines. And that's one of the things that we look to do with PupCamp, with our puppy development or our puppy boot camp course, is to teach them these things so that way you can kind of teach them and so that they can learn how to adopt to your lifestyle.
Mhm. I often talk about it's a brand new relationship that you're building, right?
Yeah.
Completely different, and that they'll never live up and fill those shoes.
Yeah. No, it's each dog is an individual,
Mm.
and they all are great in their own individual ways. My new puppy will never be the type of dog that Lulu was. He'll be a completely different guy, and he'll be great in his own ways. And it seems like a bad thing, but it's actually a special thing because it reminds us that the dogs that we've had in our lives, how they leave their mark, and they imprint on us. And that's special. And you don't want a new puppy to be that dog
Yeah,
because that dog has changed your life. And then the new dog will too, but in different ways.
yeah. I love how you said that they imprint in our lives, and just
Yeah.
we're never the same.
It's absolutely true. And people that aren't pet owners probably don't understand it. They think we're just crazy,
Mhm.
but it's totally true. And I've lived it firsthand.
Yeah. Well, David, so thank you so much for coming on and just sharing a little bit more about you and your experience and everything that you've done.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it. And here's a discount code that your customers and people that are working with you will be able to use if they want to take advantage of our educational programs.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, David. And, we'll talk again soon.
Thanks a lot, Kevin.